So I found myself at 27 being a slave to my weight and telling myself I was done having kids, forcing myself to believe that because weight had power over me. I was not about to be pregnant again. I was so selfish and so self-consumed, and it wasn't about being done and I knew it was right and I knew that I didn't want to have any more kids, because that's great if that's your life, but for me, I knew there was another one up there, and yet I was not allowing myself to believe it because I allowed weight to have a power over me. I allowed the fear of having another pregnancy be awful rule my life. Let's go back a little bit to my very first part of my story. When I very first got pregnant, I had been a labor nurse for probably about 1.5 years, and I was excited. I was excited to get pregnant. I didn't know if, it would take me a long time or if I would struggle, you just don't know when you're a first-time mom and you're just ready to get pregnant. I do remember feeling really excited about a couple things. Besides having the baby at the end was the goal. I was really excited about being able to eat what I want and do what I want. Because at that point in my life, I was such a slave to food. I was such a slave to working out. I would relate my worth to how many times I worked out that week, to what I decided to eat, to my decisions between, feeling guilty for eating certain foods. And I thought, man, guess what I'm going to be able to do? I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to be able to do whatever I want. I'm going to be able to eat whatever I wanted. And I took it to the extreme. And I kept Taco Bell in business and I kept Wendy's in business and I ate whatever I wanted. And I worked full-time nights as a labor and delivery nurse. And I was miserable. And my pregnancy was hard and I was super swollen. I gained over 200 pounds. I was 220 with my first. And my delivery was awful and my recovery was awful, and I had a 2nd-degree tear with both of my babies, and I struggled with postpartum depression. I think I was bleeding after my pregnancies for at least 8 weeks. I was bleeding for forever, and I was just a mess, and I just blamed it on pregnancy because that's what I thought it was. Pregnancy was just hard. And what's crazy is we know that pregnancy is different for everybody. So when someone says pregnancy is difficult for me, or I just believed that pregnancy was hard. And I'm not talking about being on bed rest. I'm not talking about the things we can't control. And I'm talking about the things I could control. And I just chose not to because I wanted to be free of feeling like I had to be a certain way or eat a certain way. So, after my second baby, I was miserable. I had postpartum depression, and I looked down at my little baby as he was breastfeeding, and I thought, man, I wish I could see myself like I saw my patients, like I saw my labor patients, these empowering, beautiful women. And I thought, I'm gonna find the answer by losing weight. And I giggle a little bit because it just seemed like the thing to do. And I did. I lost 80 pounds. And I felt, I was trying to be more healthy. I was trying to be more conscious of me. I was trying to find something that I didn't already have. And I didn't know that you couldn't find your worth in your pant size. I didn't know that you wouldn't be able to look down at the scale and see a number and feel happy. I was just as miserable at 120 pounds as I was at 220 pounds. And I yet again was at a space where I was trying to find the answer to my worth, and I didn't find it. I developed severe body dysmorphia. I became addicted to prescription medications, and I vowed to never get pregnant again, even though I knew that there was another baby there for me. So I was really lost, and I searched. I finally, when I was 27, I searched for answers because I knew that something had to give. If I didn't give anything, it was gonna cost my life, because I was struggling with not just worthiness, but with depression and anxiety and I searched. So I searched and I became a yoga teacher. I learned about hypnotherapy. I became pre and postnatal certified. It became this spiral of, now I wanted to learn about everything. I all of a sudden had this power, and I found something very pivotal. And that moment, that thing I found was the moment when I realized that I could heal myself, that my conscious mind could communicate with my subconscious mind. And it all of a sudden empowered me and became my mission, right? So then what did I do? I got pregnant. And I told myself it was going to be different. And I used these tools, I used these secrets that I'm going to share with you guys soon, to empower me to have the best pregnancy ever. And it doesn't just stop there. The best recovery. Of course, I still struggled. Of course, I still had nausea. Of course, I'm not the kind of pregnant woman that just doesn't have nausea and doesn't feel like it doesn't affect them. And if you are, oh my gosh, I want to congratulate you because it's great. Whatever your pregnancy looks like, I know that you can be empowered, and I know that you can have an amazing pregnancy. When I ended up having Henry's his name, he's 2 now, I did not tear. He was bigger than any of my babies by a pound. I didn't tear. I stopped bleeding after 2 days. My recovery was beautiful. It wasn't about getting my weight back, like losing my weight or getting my body back. I loved myself in every single situation. I remember standing in front of the mirror right after I had him with my bread dough belly, my boobs were dripping, and I loved myself. I loved every minute. Weight had no power over me, and weight went away because I didn't hold on to it. And I was emotionally more stable and balanced, and it was a beautiful process. It was beautiful. And I know it can be for you too. So I want to share that with you guys. I want to give you guys the 3 tips to have your best pregnancy, your best delivery. Give you guys the education to set you free so that you can decide what that looks like to you and for you. And mesh modern medicine with Eastern medicine. Mesh medical, my RN degree with my yoga certification. Mesh holistic with medical. Mesh it all together, give you everything. I know I can. I know you can. I know I can help you. And I cannot wait to start this journey with you.